So, cunt stories.
Jesus Christ.
I'm kidding. That's a different podcast that I may or may not start.
Oh, God.
Anyway, welcome to the Herbalist Podcast, where we don't talk about cunts much. It depends on who we're talking about. I mean, what we're talking about. Fucking cunt. Anyway, so yeah, we're back with the Herbalist Podcast. I'm back with Rob and Dean.
Hi.
Hey.
How you guys doing
We're
today?
here.
All right.
I'm here.
Yeah. Fucking fucked up weather out there, isn't it? Fucking end of May. That's some fuck
Is it?
shit. Yeah, it's the end of fucking May and we got fucking 50, 40 degree weather, man. Fuck you.
And rain.
Yeah. I mean, the rain I could deal with.
Yeah,
But
the rain's not too bad.
yeah, I can't put my plants outside in fucking 40 degree weather.
It'd be too
Prick.
fucking cold.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. They're decent size right now. They'll probably survive. Probably won't be a big deal. But I don't like that word probably. You know what I'm saying?
Too much of a margin of error.
Yeah.
Way too much.
Probably
and
be fine.
Transplanting them instantly, hitting them into a cold runs the risk of shock.
Well,
Right?
no, I was going to put them in 15-gallon pots. Put them outside. That way, if it gets too fucked up, like if we got like one of those tornado like events again.
Yeah.
like,
You have an
that-
option of moving it.
Yeah. Yeah, because if you got your plant planted in the ground and a tornado rolls through Elmira, like it has the past couple fucking years, you ain't moving that shit.
How come I've not heard anything about that?
We had a tornado touchdown in Elmira like 10 years ago.
Took out part of Kennedy.
Yeah, it went down next to St. Joe's, but since then, we've had fucking... I think every year we've had at least a funnel cloud form. Even if it hasn't touched down, I've seen funnel clouds. You know what I'm saying? Like, one year, fucking, it looked like there was a funnel cloud forming over where the airport is. It never touched down or nothing, but it was definitely forming. It was probably like... Oh, we were working for Olive Garden when it happened.
Which is
no
crazy because
idea.
you think if a tornado would touch down there, Big Flats would be the...
Well, it looked like it was forming there from my perspective, but it was probably miles and miles off. You know, you looked up into the sky and it looked like it was over that spot, but like, I mean,
It's not.
let's be serious. Perspective is everything.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? It was probably out fucking in the hills of Big Flats somewhere.
Yeah.
And then there
Or
was
just approaching the hills. And by
Yeah.
the time they hit the hills killed it.
And then there was one year I was walking to Denny's. This is how long ago this was.
That was a minute.
Yeah, fucking there was a funnel cloud that was forming over top of the golf course. I actually had just left my wife's parents at the time because she was still living at home. And I
Oh, okay.
was walking my happy ass to work from 14th Street down to Denny's. Oh God, excuse me.
You saw the little outcrop.
No, I
Just
just
got the hiccups.
Yeah. I was walking down the road and a guy is driving down the road and he just stops and gets out of the fucking car and starts taking pictures with his phone. Right? And I'm like, what the fuck is he looking at? And I look up and there's a fucking funnel cloud like right over top of the golf course.
Wow.
Yeah.
That'll fucker your butthole.
A little bit, especially because I was walking.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
I don't want to go to Oz today, damn it. Dorothy,
No.
get out of here.
I got a little in the tank, but I'm not outrunning that.
I don't think I had enough in the tank for that.
I don't think I had enough in the tank for that.
Yeah. But I mean, I was walking by the golf course, so if anything, I'd have got down in that motherfucking storm drain. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was all right. Didn't touch down. But, you know, you don't have to have a fucking tornado to have a wind event that'll rip shit out of the ground. You know what I mean? That's another reason why I don't want to just straight plant in the ground. There's no real wind breaks where I'm going to plant. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's a little fence, but that doesn't help that much. You know, depending on what way the wind's blowing from. It'll help a little bit, but like I said, I'm going to plant them in pots. That also takes care of a couple other things. Like, I get that they're going to be outside and whatnot, but I won't have to deal with grass growing directly around the weed. I'm not going to have to, mulch around it or anything. I'm not going to have to dig it all up and whatnot. I just have to occasionally pull weeds out of the pots that,
Right.
like a dandelion fucking thing blows in and starts growing a dandelion. I'll have to kill that motherfucker. Yeah. But yeah, it'll be a lot easier than growing it in the ground. And I mean, hell, if as the season changes, the way the light comes into my backyard where I'm going to grow them is also going to change. So I can move them around the backyard. Yeah, so I can get better light on them. You know what I'm saying? Because I got a tree back there that during this time of year, it's going to shade way the hell off in like the left corner, right? But during the end of summer, that whole left corner is going to be open all day, where the sun's just going to come right in and smack that corner. Fucking, so probably August, I'll probably move my plants to that corner. But for right now, they're actually on they're not outside yet, but I'm going to put them on the other side of that tree so that they can get good light for now.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, it's, benefits of potting your plants instead of putting them right in the ground. And also, if you move them around, say you do find a spot that you want to put them in the ground, like closer to harvest season, fucking, I'm going to use the cloth pots. I could literally cut an X on the bottom of those pots, open it up, and bury it in a hole, and the roots will grow straight out of the bottom of that. Yeah, so that's not a big deal. But, yeah. Oh. You want to know the weirdest thing I ever grew outdoors? I had a power outage in my grow room, and my power wasn't going to come back on for a week.
Okay.
And I was like, damn, I just started budding these plants, and they were all hydroponic plants.
Okay.
So I just started budding them, and they were in deep water hydro, so I needed electricity. Have to have electricity for that, and I need lights to obviously make them so they won't die. They're fucking plants. You need lights for plants. But, so, didn't know what to do. Knew these plants were going to die. So I went into my backyard and I dug a couple holes that were the same size as the grates that the plant actually sits in.
Yeah.
Right? I made the hole a little bit bigger than the bottom insert on the grate. And then I threw a whole bunch of loose dirt in the hole, right? And then I slowly lowered my plant in while I think my brother was pouring water into the hole.
Okay.
And basically made a mud pie in the hole, right? So what had happened is the water and the loose dirt that were in there came up and swelled around the pot. And then when it drained away, all the roots that were like hanging out of the bottom of the pot were buried in that loose soil.
Okay.
And everybody told me, oh, you can't do that. You can't take a hydroponic plant and put it outside. And those motherfuckers budded. I got bud off that. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you can't do that?
One of those hold my beer moments.
Exactly.
All right.
I fucking
hold my beer.
I buried that shit in the backyard. I said, here, hold my beer. I need both hands for this. I fucking dug that hole, buried that shit. 3 months later, I had bud off fucking 4 plants that I had taken outside that were hydroponics. Yeah. They didn't die. They didn't have any fucking issues. They just... It stunted them a little bit. They were like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
But then after they got used to it, they were like, oh, okay, I got you. Man, I wish we had a video for that. That was kind of funny. Fucking, sorry, this intermission brought to you by GG4. Who's there? Oh, that'd be the neighbors. So, we're going to have knocking on this episode. Our neighbors
I
are
don't think
knocking.
it's coming through.
Oh, it's not? Okay. Because I can hear it. If you guys couldn't hear it, then just know that we're going crazy.
It's enough for us to hear it. I don't think it's enough to bleed through.
Okay, cool. So if you hear us stop and wonder what the fuck that is, just we all went crazy. We're all hearing the same fucking noises.
Having the same hallucination.
Exactly. And we took no drugs. Well, I mean, Weed's not a
At
drug.
first, I thought someone was pounding on the door.
No, it's coming from behind me.
Yeah. Weed's not a drug, right, guys? It's a plant. It grows like that.
And if you should set it
Well,
on
I mean, a
fire.
lot of drugs come from plants.
Yeah, but you have to do something to them. Like cocaine. That comes from the coca plant. But it's not cocaine as it sits there.
No, it's not.
Fucking,
But even then, they'll still go down the splitting hairs. If you still have to process pot, you still got to dry it, cure it, trim it.
but you don't have to add anything chemically to it.
Technically, you don't with cocaine either. The only reason we do is because straight, it'll fucking kill us.
No, it won't straight up kill us, because,
If it was pure, uncut cocaine,
well, if we were using it the way it was intended to be used, it wouldn't.
kind of like how they used to do it, just take a piece of it, chew on the fucking bark as an
Exactly.
energy
The South
boost.
American tribes, they used to fucking pull a leaf and chew on a leaf, and it was,
Yep,
they
same with
would-
the barks and the stems
they
and
would
whatnot.
do it. Do you have any idea when they would do this?
In a ritualistic time?
There you
No,
go.
before war.
Before, oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
not always. They also used to do it when farming or hunting or whenever they needed the energy boost.
Right. Well, they would. So there's evidence that berserkers actually existed in South America. So these
To an extent, yes.
so what they would do is they would have, you know,
They're slightly different than the Viking ones. They'd use more uppers instead of hallucinogens to get to that berserker state.
yeah, so they would eat what they knew would be a lethal dose of the cocaine leaves and just go fucking insane and go like murk shit on the battlefield.
So not only is it an insane upper that induces rage, cocaine is also an anesthetic.
Right, they
It was
didn't
what
feel
They were
we-
shit.
numb. No.
Well, they felt things, but because it's not as good of an anesthetic as modern ones, but being that high too,
Well,
whatever pain they did feel,
They,
they don't
definitely
fucking care.
probably didn't feel getting punched in the jaw, though.
Oh God, no.
They
Dang
probably
it.
didn't feel the arrow go through their leg.
or even if they did not care because they were that fucking high.
Right. You know, so like these people knew.
It's like, oh, I
they
felt
were
that
gonna
one,
die.
but I don't care.
It affects your adrenal,
Yeah.
too, so.
Yeah,
There's, you know,
works you up into a rage.
yeah. Yeah.
Why do you think cokeheads, crackheads, and all the uppers always get so mad so quick? 'Cause it's a massive stimulant.
Yeah. But anyway, I'd say the only other drug that I know of that you can take straight, there'd be two of them. Peyote and
Psilocybin.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
3. But I don't consider psilocybin a drug because
No,
you can't,
right.
you
But
can't die off it. Did you know that?
no.
Not if you take the
If that's,
real psilocybin.
if that's the case, pot doesn't count as one either because you can't overdose on that.
Exactly. That's why I don't consider pot a drug. So what happens if you take too much mushrooms? You throw up violently.
Mm.
You get the shits violently. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now that could in turn kill you.
In the wrong like modern times you're not going to, but if you did it in the wrong time period, I imagine it could.
Well, not only that, but if you grab the wrong mushrooms. If
Oh
they're,
yeah, oh yeah.
like
But on actual like
on the actual psilocybin
Right.
mushrooms, you can't. You actually, I mean, it might make you go crazy, but you'll fucking you'll end up throwing everything up and shitting your brains out before you die. But here's the thing: if you take too much of them, it'll make you sick like that for fucking days. And I'm sorry, but if you sit there and throw up and shit yourself for days, you just might die of dehydration.
well, I'm saying at the right time, diarrhea would kill a person.
Yeah. Actually,
Dysentery.
that was just a little over 100 years ago.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah, I
really
know.
want to think about that.
Yeah.
About 150 years ago, you got a bad case of diarrhea.
Oh, we're gonna start digging your grave now. You got about 2 weeks.
Now we use it to get out of kitchen work.
I know, right?
right?
Went from extremely deadly to an inconvenient enough of a reason
Minor
to
inconvenience.
yeah, to call off of work. Like, I can't come in today. Why? I got diarrhea. Okay, we'll see you tomorrow. 100 years prior. Like, all right, I can't make it in. I got diarrhea. All right, we'll fill your job.
Hey,
You
we'll
got about
fill your
2
job.
weeks.
Well, that's not entirely true. There's been many cases of diarrhea that clear up by themselves.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
But if you got dysentery diarrhea, ooh, your ass is probably a goner.
Fuck, the flu was deadly 100 years ago.
Did you just hand this to me?
Yeah, no, I don't know.
He didn't hit it.
He did?
Last I knew, I passed it that way.
Oh.
I don't fucking know. All I know is it's supposed to go from Rob to Dean, and I think I might have fucked it up. I don't know.
Probably.
Anyway, so moving on from this shitty situation,
But
I got a couple of things that I'd like to talk about today. So, if anybody follows, marijuana news, you might know this already. But fucking Pennsylvania had a vote recently. They had another bill on the ballot to legalize marijuana. The House passed it along party lines 102 to 101. It went to the Senate. And before it even got to the Senate, so I've had people tell me, oh, they're going to pass it. Oh, it's finally going through this time, right?
Ye old Commonwealth.
People don't read. People see things and they assume. You know what I'm saying? So, Pennsylvania State Senate, before the bill even made it through the House, said that a bill legalizing recreational marijuana has no business being in this Senate. In other words, before it even got there, they had decided to shut it down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Commonwealth.
right. And everybody's like, oh, it'll pass. The governor's on board. You have to pass it through the House, the Senate, and then the governor has to sign it. Okay? The Senate straight up told you, no. So no, it's not going to happen.
New York loves taxation and money, so they're like, all right.
Well, yes and no. So PA is kind of just like a holdout. They're medically legal. You have to go get a medical card. There's certain things that you can get weed for.
We do literally call
seizures.
it Pennsyltucky.
Yeah. I gave that to you, right?
I wasn't paying attention, Frank. I was paying attention to the conversation.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know. We did a dab this morning. Now everybody's all fucked up.
no, just you.
Oh,
So that means
whatever. Y'all suck. I mean, you're great. You
Just
guys
means
are-
you can't be the pivot man.
Well, I mean, fuck. You guys
left.
put me in the goddamn middle.
No, you always do that.
You actually do. Even when we're not on air.
That's not true.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was sitting on the end yesterday.
Yeah.
That's why Rob didn't notice me passing out. But yeah, so that bill is dead in the water. It's still medically legal down in PA, but if you guys want legal pot, you have to do what I know you don't want to do. You've got to vote out one or two of your Republican senators and put a fucking Democrat in there, because that is the only way you will get legal pot. And I already know you
That
guys.
ain't happening right now.
Yeah, you don't want to vote out those Republicans. I know you guys don't. You love your Republicans down there. Oh, they're a swing state. Yeah.
Not so much.
Yeah, I mean, Philadelphia. Just saying. Pittsburgh. Those are your Democratic areas. That was the taxi fee. But yeah, so yeah, if you guys if you guys want legal weed, you're gonna have to vote out some Republicans and vote in some Democrats. It's about the only way it'll happen. Most Republicans are staunchly against it. And I don't know why. It's, most of it stems from the propaganda and whatnot.
Not all of them.
I said most. But most of it stems from the propaganda, from, the fucking 30s and 40s telling us all that weed was bad when it's really not. There has never, ever actually been factual evidence to show the amount of harm that the government says that weed does. The most harmful thing from it is you might develop COPD later in life. But you're smoking something. I mean, let's be serious, people. You're not supposed to smoke things.
Yeah.
Well, in all reality, the only reason... Well, that's how they made it illegal. That's not the main reason they wanted it illegal.
Nah, it was from the tax dollars, mostly.
No. Hemp. You know as well as I do, how much shit can you make out of hemp?
No, that's what I mean. It was the tax dollars. It was the textile industry mostly.
Yeah,
it was
because
paper and cloth.
A lot of other people would have been out of money if it was legal.
Oh God!
So they
if you
figured out
equate today's dollars to back then, trillions of dollars would have been lost on the cotton and the fucking timber industry.
More odds are they probably would have just entirely gone down. And hemp would have replaced it.
Not entirely. So it would have been a 70 to 80% reduction because you've got to remember, at that point, hemp would be the readily available material, and cotton wouldn't be grown so much. So cotton clothes would become a luxury. See where I'm going with this?
These
So the rich
become
people-
the bougie items.
Yes, they would become bougie, just like silk, because we wouldn't be producing as much cotton because everything would be made with hemp, like you were saying, because hemp is stronger and it's more eco-friendly. For instance, you can produce 1 hectare of hemp in 9 months. You can produce 1 hectare of forest in 20 years with the
Yep.
same usable material.
Yep.
It has the exact same amount of mass.
But and all the people that were in charge of these things didn't like it. And the byproduct of hemp is marijuana. Oh, hey, you can get high off of it. We need to make this illegal.
I think I just reversed flow again, but we're not even going to worry about it.
All because some people were afraid to lose their money.
Yeah. And honestly, the government did a study. So a lot of lobbyists were lobbying the government for it to be illegal. Did you know that marijuana wasn't actually criminalized until I think 1947?
Really?
I'm pretty sure.
Was it John Adams? Which one of the founding fathers actually had a hemp farm?
All of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was going to say Jefferson had
Jefferson.
Jefferson had one. Adams had
one.
one.
Washington.
Do you know why? Anybody know why?
Well, odds are pretty high. They like to smoke.
Nope. It was because of a law that was enacted by the King of England in 1620.
You can't tell me they didn't like to smoke.
I mean, that's not the reason that they grew pot. The reason that they grew hemp was because in 1620, the King of England found a new crop that would grow efficiently and quickly and produce massive amounts of material. And he ordered all colonial farmers with a certain amount of acreage to set aside 10% of their land to grow this cash crop, which would then be exported to England for processing. It was hemp. The very first marijuana law in the Americas was an order telling you to grow it. You were ordered to grow this shit. I'm sorry. We've come a long way and not in the right direction.
Still.
Ordered to grow it. You know, various split many laws and set rules on it. Die of diarrhea, used to call in for work. You know, it's
We've come a long way and not in the right direction, if you ask me. Some people need to die of diarrhea. I'm sorry.
Hey, that brings me back to a song I was listening to this morning called
You
"Bring
died
Back
of
the Plague."
dysentery.
Good old cattle decap.
Can you make a song and I'll do voiceover on it?
About dying of diarrhea.
That's exactly the name I was going to use. Dying of diarrhea.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
I'm thinking suicidal tendencies.
Dysentery.
Definitely 8-string brown note. Just.
Let me see.
Actually, that would work.
Yeah,
That would work, and it would fit the subject matter.
Yeah,
Can you use the notes DEAD? You can. I know you can.
Yeah, that's easy enough.
So when the funny chorus hits, you need to play those notes as you hear the shit hit the toilet water.
DEAD.
And that is a guitarist nerd joke right there. You know what I'm saying?
That's just a music joke.
Well, I mean,
Like Dean, I was going down a guitar rabbit hole one day, and Dean recently discovered cabbage tuning because of it. It's a 7-string tuning, like literally from low to high. The notes are arranged.
CABBAGE.
Yep,
Yeah.
cabbage tuning,
Yeah.
and it sounds really cool. Not all of the not all
wanna hear
musicians are stuck up asses. It was Ichiko Nita or Ichinito. I can't remember offhand what his name is, but he's a Japanese guitarist, and he's fucking
I found out he was a he that day.
Yo,
yeah. And Cabbage is one of those kind of insane techie songs.
damn! I just thought of something.
What's that?
How many letters does the scale go to? Goes down to G.
I'm kind of confused as to what you're asking.
The
First of all.
scale, like
What about
an
a
A
scale?
note, a B note, a C note? How many letters does it go down to?
I'm still entirely confused as to what you're asking.
Is G the last note? Does it go H?
A
Is there
scale
an H
doesn't
note?
have a last note.
Okay, well, you know what I'm saying. The notes. What's the last note?
There is no last note.
Well, I know, but what's the last letter assigned to the notes?
G, and then it repeats.
That's what I thought.
It's the first 7 letters of the alphabet, and then you get various sharps and flats in between, except between B and C and E and F.
So all I'm asking is, you can't play Deadhead.
No.
Yeah, I was.
Well, technically, no. Yes, you can, because other composers have done that. Instead, what they'll do is they'll kind of repeat the cycle.
But it dropped the dropped A.
But
is now an A.
as soon as it goes up like the octave, that corresponding note that would so essentially say you started on A and then you jumped up to A, it would go up to H essentially. They just kind of spread out all the notes to fit the 26.
Well, that's what I was wondering.
It's compositional games or something, like writing a song with dice or using the alphabet or something like that, and then you just find a way to translate that concept musically. And
all I was saying is we could make a tribute song to the Grateful Dead and use the Deadhead scale. You'd have to do it in an 8-string. It'd be an 8-string Grateful Dead
no, I
song.
wouldn't.
Oh, come on.
You're starting notes in D.
Oh, yeah, that's true. You'd be starting right in the middle.
It really doesn't matter. Like, yes, I play the 3 different ranges, like 6, 7, and 8. Really, the only thing, like you notice, that you get as an advantage of is access to more notes. But I was practicing bass yesterday, and I was explaining to Dean because I was working on that new song, and one of the parts I did a shift, more or less, not
I do shifts too.
not in the octave that I was playing it in, but like where I was playing it on the instrument. Now, technically on the staff, because I had the thing brought up, they were the same exact notes, same exact pitches, but I played them in a different spot, so they sounded a lot different because of the timbre of it. That's why it doesn't matter which one of those three I play on. Unless I really want to go that low, I don't need to. Because I can play the same fucking note 4 different places on the instrument.
Yeah.
And the only difference is timbre or sound quality.
Yo, you know what instrument you should look into, which I'm sure you've probably already looked into?
Maybe.
Now I have the Rift to Athena stuck in my head.
You should look into a sitar.
They've never actually kind of interested me all that much.
The only reason I say that is because it's like, there is so many fucking strings. Could you imagine writing a death metal song on a sitar?
There's only like 1 or 2 that you actually use.
Seriously?
Yep, the rest are sympathetic notes. They're tuned to different overtones of the scale, and when you plug the strings and play the notes, they
resonate?
Yep, sympathetically. It's
Really,
sympathetic
once you
resonance.
finally get your sitar tuned, you've already faced the hardest hurdle.
Yeah, all those added strings and whatnot through the sympathetic vibration create the drones. All those added overtones. That's why the sitar sounds the way it does.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So playing
not
one
only
once-
What about a harp? Does it do the same thing?
a harp's a tuned instrument. It depends. If you're talking about like one of the harps that you see them able
Yeah.
to play with a strap, those are just specifically tuned kind of like a piano
Yeah.
would be.
Yeah.
And if you notice, they have different colored strings. Now that shows you if it's a natural, a sharp, or a flat.
And sometimes they'll have the same tuning but different string gauges.
Yes. And now your big harps, like your floor harps, they actually have a pedal board on the floor. And these pedals correspond to different strings along the length of the harp. And when you engage them, it changes the pitch. It'll either raise them to make them sharp or natural, or drop them to be natural or flat, all depending on the position of the foot switch.
And then
Damn.
to take it even further, there's this. I'm trying to figure out the right word, but the content creator named Emily that I
Oh,
watch.
that's right, content creator.
And
I think I might have seen her too. Does she
yeah.
do a lot of shit where she like runs her harp through distortion and does odd things?
and creates actually what you like to do, video game music.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've probably seen her then.
I feel like harps are more prevalent in video game music than anyone realizes.
Video.
She creates entire video game
actually,
things
it's-
with
No,
just
I
the
know,
harp.
but
any type of music
Have
that
you ever-
generally accompanies a visual media. Like if you've noticed, classical composers aren't really a thing much anymore. But a lot of the movies, a lot of the TV, all the video games we watch, there is a heavy element of classical music.
Yeah.
And that's where the harp fits in.
well,
Classical didn't die. It just kind of
transformed.
And that's why I like doing what I do so much. It's fun.
Yo, I can't wait for like. I mean, I know I won't be alive. I just want to be a fly on the wall for like 500 to 1,000 years from now when they start calling death metal classical music.
Yeah, I don't think
You're
we'll
gonna-
live to see that. I think it's got to be, 100 years?
Fucking, could you
100
imagine?
years for what?
For music to be considered classical. Because I know it's
Oh.
considered, like, music becomes classics around 25 years.
Right. Like classic is different than classical. Yeah,
I
so
know,
like
but-
100.
But I'm not sure if that fits the mold, though, because classical has also been,
It's
like,
a genre.
It's a
I was-
genre, yeah.
it's already got, like, predetermined elements, and a lot of music that we have now,
Right.
like the death metal, hip hop, rock, I don't think that would fit as classical.
right.
But
It will always
500
be
years
what
from
it
now,
is.
500 years from now, they'll probably be like, it's classical death metal.
Well, they still kind of already do that. It's like if you think about it, Cannibal Corpse and bands like that
That's
are classic.
classic.
Grandpa's guitars.
I guess that
Vintage.
Grandpa's guitars. Death Clock. I love Brandon Smalls. Fucking Toki. Toki
Who
and
just
Squish
did
Guard.
this?
I don't know.
You did, Frank.
I think I handed it to you last.
I don't fucking know.
I don't know.
We went down a music rabbit hole.
I've just been going back and forth, and like I think I'm just double hitting it in the middle.
He's just talking and looks down and has a joint in his hand.
That's for real what's going on. Like, I'm not even lying. I wish we had video today. The look on my face is like, it's just pure confusion. And it's all about passing a Dutch. Like, which way does this go? Who gets this? Who's smoking this right now? I know this goes to Dean this time. Because I'm stuck in the middle and I was just smoking that thing.
Stuck in the middle with you.
All right, Steeler. Call Rob Wheeler.
Oh, Jesus.
You're the Steeler and you're the Wheeler. Well, in that reference, I would have clowns to the left of me and jokers to the right.
That sounds about right.
Here I am, stuck in the middle with you. I'm singing to my weed, by the way.
Ooh, I noticed something the other day. I not only do I gotta get back to the writing format, just so I can do more of it, but I noticed no matter what I do, I still use a spread of all three of those ranges for everything. Like that new one, not to go into too much depth, but it's more of like a production thing. I added layers of the 7 and the 6 underneath the 8 in certain spots, and it's fucking cool. It works.
Hell yeah.
So in some way, shape, or form, all songs are gonna have a blending of all three.
Hell yeah. But anyway, moving on, since we've gotten sidetracked, I want to briefly touch on this topic. I don't know.
Just briefly touch it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna briefly touch it. You know,
Just
it's only
graze
gonna it's only been like 11 months, so it's not gonna take me that long. Anyway, so I just want to
Yeah, I'm
briefly
good
touch on
that. That was getting kind of bitey.
You want to hit that again?
Sure.
So, I'd like to know if anybody out there does know, the Department of Justice had their 2025-2026 year budget proposal. And there was supposed to be a rider on that budget that barred them from using DOJ funds from enforcing cannabis laws in states that it had been passed for recreational use. So, I don't know if that ever went through. I don't know if the budget ever went through. I don't know if the rider got removed or not, but I would like to know. I tried to look it up, and I'm not the smartest person, so I didn't get to the right places. But if anybody out there knows, if you could write in, tell us, because I know these two don't fucking know. They don't watch the DOJ like that.
No.
I'm constantly watching marijuana news. And I seen this thing, but then I never got a follow up on it. And I was like, so there's a rider on the budget, but it's a budget proposal and it has to be passed.
Not to be that guy, but what I like spending my time doing isn't wrapped up in legal red tape.
Yeah, I know.
I can just do research and have fun.
Dude, you talking about doing research and having fun. Do you realize that when I started researching weed, I was scared that the fucking government was going to track me because I was putting things into Google? Like, how to grow cannabis? What kind of salts do you need? What kind of fertilizers are the best? I'm putting that all into Google, and I'm like, damn, the federal government's probably fucking watching my IP because I'm literally asking them how to grow weed, and the fucking government watches everything. You know what I'm saying? If you don't think they watch everything, then obviously you don't know who Edward Snowden is, and you don't know that wasn't just a movie, that was actually real, and it actually happened. Does everybody here know who Edward Snowden is?
Yes.
You do? You know
Not
who?
directly.
No? Edward Snowden was the NSA operative that in 2008 came out publicly and said, listen, the United States government is recording all of your phone calls, all of your text messages, everything. They're doing it illegally because they don't have the right to do it. And all of this is being done without your consent. And here's the proof. And then the government labeled him a traitor because he exposed them for doing something incredibly illegal. And they labeled him a traitor, and he had to flee the country. No lie. And since then, has the government stopped doing this? Have you guys heard anything about this since 2008 when it happened?
No.
Other than the movie? No. They swept that shit up under the rug. If you
They
don't
do
think
that
they're
all the
still
time.
watching you, you're fucking retarded. Everything you say and do on your phone is tapped and recorded, and it might not be a person going through it. It might just be AI going
In
through
this
it.
day and age, it's not just our government.
Right. But like
That's the more frightening part.
let's be
You
serious.
see, Orwell wrote a
It's
book about
estimated
this
the
in the
Chinese
40s.
have access to most of and are watching most of our entire cell phone infrastructure.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's why when they recently sent out military like orders over a fucking text message, it was a big deal. You know what I'm saying? Because what are you, retarded?
Yes.
But anyway, so yeah, I was scared back then, but I don't have to be. If this budget proposal goes through, I won't have to be scared anymore because I live in a legalized state, and New York State already doesn't enforce federal laws. That's why we have FBI stations and DEA stations and whatnot, because federal laws are typically enforced by federal employees.
Bingo.
The state might discover it and then they'll run it up the line, and then like one FBI officer will come in and he'll use state resources, and it's like a joint funded kind of thing, but it's still the federal government that's taking care of your federal laws. That's why there's an FBI office. So everybody's like, oh my God, we got an FBI office. Well, they have to be there to enforce federal laws.
But they're not going to come all the way from Quantico every fucking time.
Right. You know what I'm saying? They got like one or two people in the area. That's about it.
And even then, at the same time, if people are worried about it, they're not going to bust you for average shit. That's what the local cops are for.
Right. They're
I
there
mean,
for
yeah, they
federal
can
crimes.
because they're high up enough that they could, but they're not going honestly not going to waste their time. They're here for the big shit.
Right. Yeah, but you get what I'm saying. It would prevent them from being allowed to enforce cannabis enforcement in our state. And that would be a big win for all of us, honestly, because, on a federal level, you can still get arrested for having a fucking joint. You really can. It is federally illegal to have any kind of pot. Not just your 3 ounces or your 24 grams or your half an ounce, depending on where you live. No, on a federal level, you can go to jail for a fucking joint. You really can. That's fucked up. But, if they pass that, we're all safe as long as we stay in New York or, other states that it's been fully legalized in. But yeah, if anybody has any information on that, if you know if that budget proposal went through, I would love to hear about it. You can message me in the comments, message me on Facebook, on the Herbalist Podcast, on the Facebook channel. I'd appreciate it. Well, anyway, moving on. I wanted to tell y'all about some shit that Rec Roots is dropping. We got new weeds.
As long as it doesn't get dropped on the floor.
No, actually, we smoked some of it last night. That one joint that I was smoking, I remember what that is now. That was Glitter Bomb.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, as soon as I hit it, I'm like, this doesn't...
And it tasted pretty good, right?
Yeah, it kind of actually had a homegrown kind of a flavor to it.
No, that's not a homegrown flavor. So that's a...
That's what it tasted like to me.
Fuck. No, it's a certain terpene. So I know a lot of homegrown people have that terpene, but that's a.
It'll come to you. Don't force it.
I want to say it's linalool mixed with some beta caryophyllene. You don't get that a lot.
Good job on that one, bud.
Yeah. You don't get that combination a lot on the legal market because honestly, I don't know why. It's my opinion, but it seems like weeds that are...
It's a trait of really high-grade homegrown.
No, it's a trait of a specific type of plant. Oh. In my opinion, I don't know for sure, but I want to say the effects of that glitter bomb would be more of a head high. more of a sativa high.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's a sativa or an indica, but I want to say that those specific terpenes are more sativa leaning terpenes. Now, the reason you don't get that a lot is because 70% of the country prefers their indicas, believe it or not. You know, most of your high potency plants are going to be indica or hybrid. If you look them up, most of them are actually hybrid. You know what I'm saying? Those are going to be your high potencies. But there are select sativas out there that get very potent. There are select indicas out there that get very potent. Typically, it's going to be your hybrids that fucking get potent. Like really, really good. But yeah, we're going to be dropping the glitter bomb. Yeah, so that's going to be, honestly, of all of them, I think the glitter bomb tested the highest, and it tested fucking high. It's over 30%. I think it's like 30.5% THC. It's like 34 or 36% TAC. So it is fucking potent. You know what I'm saying? It's up there. It's one of the really good ones. So we got the glitter bomb, super candy, blueberry lemonade, and gelato sorbet. God, I had to think about that. My bad.
Yeah. Sorbet.
So all four of them, honestly, I think released yesterday. We just shipped them, I want to say yesterday. And I don't know exactly where they went, but they should be
Going to the moon.
Yeah, they should be in dispensaries near you soon. I mean, we've got the Archie's Cannabis Connection, which just opened. I don't think I've talked about them yet. They are in the old Denny's
that's what that
building.
is.
Yep, it's called Archie's Cannabis Connection. I believe that's the name of it. It's
Oh, okay.
Archie's. Archie's something. I want to say it's Cannabis Connection.
Okay.
I'm almost positive that's what it is, but it's Archie's. You type in Archie's weed and Horseheads, it's gonna come up.
That's going to be a weird walk for you the first time.
Dude, I have not gone there yet. I have not gone into that building. I want to go in as a member of Rec Roots, like on a delivery.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Just so I can like go into the building, go into the back.
Yeah,
I don't want to go into as a customer and like.
You're like, I want to see what they did to the place. Because
what did
I
you
know
do?
that building.
Oh, I know that building like the back of my hand.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
spent 8 fucking years of my life in that building.
Yeah, I still remember the
Holy
layout
shit.
too.
Not the layout, dude. I know where the manager was fucking the one cook bitch in the back. I know where the other manager was doing his fucking blow around the corner. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know where the one guy was doing whippets and passed out in the fucking cooler.
Like Anthony Milonakis.
Yeah, you've got memories associated with those locations.
Yeah.
I just know the locations.
I spent 8 years of my life at, oh, by the way, if anybody ever went to Denny's, you got to understand, Denny's was scraping the bottom of the barrel for cooks at one point. Actually, for just staff. I mean, it's fucking Denny's. Nobody wants to work overnight, you fucking morons.
Yeah,
I love you guys, but no, you're fucking retarded. Like, we had drug addicts, fucking damn near prostitutes, and just any kind of degenerate you can imagine working there. Okay? And fucking, you all came to eat there. Just think about that. Think about that next time you go to Cracker Barrel, because that is the cheapest sit-down restaurant around here. What kind of employees do you think they draw? Think about that next time you take your kids into that place.
Shots fired.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's the fucking truth, though.
Yeah, I mean, it really is.
Anyway, I've got memories with this building, and I want to see what they did with it. You know what I'm saying? I can walk in and be like, oh, there used to be a ladder right there where you could get to the roof. I know. Oh, shit. That hatch is still there? Shit. What'd you do with that side door? They used to have to close that when I was smoking weed out back. Now it just smells like weed anyway.
And now you work with the most innocent kitchen crew.
I know. They're a bunch of kids. They don't do anything. They play video games.
Speaking of that, I was telling this to Dean last night. I forgot to tell you. Night Jared came over, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Him
yeah.
and Mark were talking one night, and apparently he normally taps out like maybe through a whole Dutch.
So I had him fucked up.
That night, he kept up. I give him credit.
Yeah.
He did. Yeah, that was a bit much for him. And I looked at him and like, but that's normal for us. If anything, that wasn't really excessive either. That was normal.
Honestly, I thought it was a little light because we had an added body. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
If anything.
Yeah, I honestly, when I was going home, I was still kind of peppy. I was like, damn, should have smoked another
Yeah,
one.
I think we ended up passing around another bong after you left too, just because of that.
Yeah, I was like, fuck.
No, I guess he was pretty well toasted, so I'm certain as soon as he laid down on that couch, he was gone.
And he didn't wake up until like
Yeah, you know
About
what
9 o'clock or
you
so.
you know what I love, and I don't mean to make, I don't mean to say anything or make fun of the guy, but like, so I walked into work one day with it at Red Robin. I have to put that in context because like, you damn sure didn't walk into Rec Roots like this, and this damn sure didn't happen. So I walked into Red Robin with a half a joint that I had just burned in my cigarette pack, and like I knew it was there. I didn't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, hell, at this point,
we're
just,
past that point.
at this point, it's just advertising. You know what I mean? Like, fuck. No lie. I walk in, walk by everybody, and everybody as I walk by, their heads snapped like JFK's. I swear to God. Set my coat down.
Yeah, you definitely walk in there a lot louder than I do, but everyone notices when I do too,
Well, anyway, I set my
which
coat
is
down.
almost every day.
I set my coat down, and I just go back to work, and everybody's telling me, you know, how good I smell and whatnot, and fucking, and then, the end of the day, I had left my cigarette pack in my coat out back, and I walked out back, and I was like, "Damn, it stinks out here." And the one kid, Jared, we were just talking about, he's like, "Oh yeah, I got a little bit," and I'm like, "Nah, bro, it's my cigarette pack." And I just opened my cigarette pack, and he's like, "Damn, I'm not the only one." And I'm just thinking to myself, I don't think anybody smelled your weed, bro.
I don't think anyone's.
No, they're smelling my GG4. I guarantee it.
Yeah, that was actually one of the best compliments I got. It was Bella, actually, because it was one of the few first times I came in really reeking of it. And she's like, "Oh, so you're the one that smells like really good pot." I'm like, "Oh, yes, I am."
Yes.
Best
Yeah.
compliment
Yes, I am.
ever.
Yo, I had somebody, I told you guys about this, but I had somebody a couple days ago, new guy at the other job, asked me if I could find him some weed. And I was like, yeah, but it kind of costs a lot where I go get it. It's $1.50 an ounce. And he's like, all right. And I was like, well, you mean, if you want, I can get you cheaper weed. And he's like, I can get cheaper weed. I want good weed.
Yeah.
You know, I tell him, so, you know, I tell people all the time, if you want good weed, you know, go buy Rec Roots, but like, you've got to go to the right dispensary. I would shop around. I mean, there's no problem with sticking where you like, but certain dispensaries definitely charge less than others. We charge everybody the same, a flat rate. So I hate to say it like this, but you guys can pick out the ones that are just in it to make a buck and not out there to help you out. But if you shop around a little bit, you can find Rec Roots weed for like $40-$45 an eighth. And I mean, this shit is fucking good. Most everything we got is good. We do have lower quality
Yeah, that
weed.
is definitely a good price for some of the stuff that
Yeah.
I've tried.
Yeah. We do have lower quality weed that I think goes for $25-$30 an eighth at certain dispensaries, but like I said, you've got to shop around, and I can't call them out by name because I don't know the ones where you can get good or bad prices. But you know, just shop around because you know, certain places are out there to help you, and certain places are not. Most
They're out to
everywhere
help
that
themselves.
Rec Roots partners with is a great place, to be honest with you. Though we're not in every dispensary, we are in select dispensaries, and the bosses will tell you that they handpick the dispensaries. They typically like the partners that they're with. And most of the time, I think our most expensive eighth is usually $50. Usually, you know what I'm saying? Anywhere from 40 to 50. It really depends on where you go. Certain places are a little bit cheaper, but you also got to remember, certain places that you go, certain people own their building versus renting their building. They need to make a little bit more money off of, to cover overhead and whatnot. So there's also that to remember. Like if you go down to the city to get our weed, it's probably going to cost you a little bit more just because everything in the city is fucking more expensive. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
But like down here at I think Hazy Days has our weed for like $45-$50 for an eighth. I'm almost positive on that for the top shelf, like the really, really good shit. And then they do have cheaper stuff that we have. I think it's like 30 or 35. But I mean, I would totally go with the top shelf. It was fucking good. All four of those that I mentioned today are going to be top shelf weeds. They're all, I think the lowest percentage on one of them is like 22%. But I mean, the fucking Glitter Bomb's 30, one's 27, one's 25.
Glitter Bomb's 30.
30 and a half. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 30 and a half. It's like 30.48 or something shit like that. I don't know. I can't exactly remember, but it is fucking good. It is super fucking good. But, yeah, so I definitely wanted to talk about that. And I also wanted to say that we also just sent out labs, I believe, for our new stuff, for the other harvested stuff that we got. Like we had a really quick turnaround time with that. We got it harvested, let it dry, and then we got it like completely trimmed up, and it's been in curing. Now we can send it out for labs, let it cure just a little bit longer. The curing doesn't really matter as much for the labs because it's going to have the same amount of toxins and whatnot in it. The terpenes and whatnot might be a little different, but we can, if we run the toxicology labs now, we'll know if it's safe for one, and then a simple THC, a simple TAC test is a lot cheaper than the toxicology labs. You know what I'm saying? Because all you're testing for is cannabinoids. You don't have to test for heavy metals, fucking, pesticides, all that shit. That's included in that really expensive test, but it tests for all like everything that could be wrong. Molds, bugs, heavy metals, fucking anything that could be wrong with your weed. So we sent it out for testing. So that way, as soon as it's done curing, we can test the THC and the TAC in it, the total active. That's so much easier. Instead of having to list everything, I'm just going to say TAC because that covers everything. That covers THC, CBD, CBN, CBG, all that good shit. Your terpenes, that's what TAC is, total active cannabinoids. So I'm just going to use that term from now on because it's so much quicker. But anyway, we're getting the toxicology labs on all that stuff. So that way, when it's done curing, we can get the TAC labs and just fucking get it on the market.
Yeah.
So this shit's going to be out there relatively quickly, too.
Nice.
Yeah, we're just getting everything going good, honestly. Like I'm a well-oiled machine. But, yeah, so a couple of things to look forward to, a couple of things to look for right now as well. Definitely. Oh, I almost forgot. I believe we've got an infused pre-roll, like an actual, like a dab infused pre-roll, or it might be bubble hash. I don't know, but I think it went out for testing. I don't roll the joints. I heard infused pre-roll, but it went out for testing.
Nice.
So that should be on the market with all those other new weeds I was just talking about too. So maybe a month or two once they're done curing. I'm not sure. I'm not honestly sure. I think they've been curing for a month.
Hmm.
So I'm pretty sure one more month and it'll be out. Might not even be that long. Because typical cure time is minimum of a month. Usually we like to do 3, I want to say. I'm not positive on that, though. But, you know, a couple of things to look forward to. I do. So, I think that's where we're going to leave you today. I didn't quite get to the messed up song title, but the messed up song, but it's getting kind of late. We'll just do 2 of them next week to kind of fill in for this week. What do y'all
It's
say?
been a bit of a ramble today.
I think we've had a good episode.
Yeah.
Not as many jokes in this one,
No.
except for, my face. But,
That's an inside joke, though.
yeah. Yo,
Well, no, technically, if you're going that route, that's what's attached to the whole visual for the episode. So yeah, it's still there.
well, I mean, that is what they used to call me back in high school. The girls, anyway.
Huh?
Inside joke.
Oh, jeez.
I thought you
yeah.
meant face.
No, they used to call me inside joke. No, I'm kidding. That would suck. That would be the worst nickname ever. Oh my god. You're an inside joke. What does that mean? You're a joke when you're inside.
Oh boy.
Anyway, we're gonna leave you there.
Right where you're at.
We're gonna leave you right where we're not so jokey. Lost thought chain.
Yeah. English is hard.
Goodbye.
On that note, folks.
He actually wrote it down.
Yes, he did. All right. We are out. We will see you next week.
We ain't gonna see nobody.
Our eyes are always closed.